At TVC News, wherever the big news story is happening, we're geared up to break it. TVC News, first with Britain.
All right, folks, good evening and welcome one and all to another date on the Journalist Hangout Show. I am Citizen Jones Osen. Now, today on the program, NNPC raises prices, of petrol. Let me get that right. NNPC raises petrol depot price. Marketers are to sell at between 168 and 170 naira per litre. Now, farmers in northern Nigeria now pay 1.7 million naira as tax and harvest fees to bandits, and this is to avoid attacks as gunmen abduct Zamfara district head, kill rescuer, and later on the show we'll share this with you. Federal government expresses worry as Nigeria's COVID-19 cases rise for the third consecutive day, totaling 64,728 infections. That's alarming. Let me report I'm hanging out with Gani Kayode Balogu. We call him GKO. GKO, I greet you. Good evening.
Good evening, viewers.
And GKB. Right. I said GKO and you answered. No, it's all right.
We're on live television.
Oh, we're on live TV. Yeah, so don't claim what's not yours. So GKB is here. Now you have seen it. We have Effiong Ekop. Effiong Ekop is our finance man. He goes to the stock market, stock exchange for us. Ekop, how was the market today?
Well, the market traded in the negative today.
Negative?
But, yes.
We'll get to that. And of course, Asukwa James is here. Asukwa, I greet you.
Yeah, good evening. Thanks for having me.
And can you imagine this? GKB, we are 3 Calabar people here versus 1 Yoruba.
That's okay.
Okay, so the team is ready. I hope you are. Welcome back. Now let's go. Our country continues to be in a muddle, and some would say quandary, as we yoke under a continuing refined petroleum products pricing wahala and related matters. The Petroleum Products Marketing Company, PPMC, an ancillary of the NNPC, has increased the ex-depot price of PMS, what you know as petrol, from 147.67 naira per litre to between 168 and 170 naira. Now, this automatically translates to an increase in pump price of refined petroleum products. The new price regime takes off today, and consumers must brace up. That's the message, GKB.
Well,
brace up.
We are bracing up. As you know, Nigerians, the petroleum market has wasted no time in reflecting the new pump price. Normally, if it were to go the other way, it would take at least 4 days. While they'll be waiting to what they call to exhaust old stock.
Old stock.
Well, that's not what we're hearing today. The moment I drove into a petrol station, the new price was reflecting. Yeah, we're already here. We asked for deregulation.
GKB, that's human.
Yeah. It's human to be greedy.
Okay. I don't know about greedy, but go on.
The point I'm making is this. We asked for deregulation. But what we thought we are getting is basically a well-thought-out regime based solely on our ability to refine our own products. But so far, 5 years down the line, they are still telling us the same old story of importation. And the reason why regime change was necessary for the oil industry was because we thought that by now we'll be able to at least refine a reasonable amount for internal consumption. But that's not been the case. And that's what I'm worried about. Not the price itself, and our ability to even play any role in how we pay for this stuff.
If this would have affected the market, the story is yours now.
I think that what we are going to see from time to time is a reflection of the prices of this particular important commodity in the global markets. So as it moves up the ladder, those selling back here at home will want to reflect something close to that. Today we see the price
simply
of...
say they must recoup, they must make profit.
Exactly. So today we see the price of OPEC brand of crude oil, which accommodates our own levels of oil, trading around
Brent crude.
Yes, that is OPEC brand.
Okay.
OPEC brand trades $39. Brent is 42. Brent is for those in the European set.
Okay.
So ours in the OPEC market,
39.
You know, it wasn't like this. It was about 35, 36, and it has just moved. Then we've heard that NNPC is talking about landing costs, which also they have to, mark up for that. But I have something to say that we should understand that this oil and gas sector in the global space is beginning to lose that level of attraction. And so we should also think about that. Even though we build...
Simply, we are also always concentrating on petrol,
Honestly,
leaving gas, which is where the real deal is.
Even when you talk about gas, there will be a certain level at which it will not be appreciated again. Everybody in Europe, Asia, all other parts of the world, they are talking about green energy. So we too should look that way. And in a way, it will also stop us from, crying so much on the prices of petrol.
It don't depend on a miracle. We don't need a miracle. It's going with the flow.
No, after all, we have enough sunlight in this part of the world. So we should depend on solar, and it will help us. Then manufacturing companies doing vehicles, they have come up with electric cars. So Nigerians should also think of buying electric cars. If you buy electric cars, you will not need petrol.
Or making.
You will buy, because there is no manufacturer here in Nigeria producing electric car. So in that case, you will not need petrol. You will not need gas. So do you understand? That's the way the world is moving. So the issue of petrol prices here and there, it will be a primitive talk after some time.
That's primitive. Now your opinion. Asukwa, but let's go to the brass tacks. When you deregulate, you allow the market forces to take over, determine pricing and all that. In our country, are you still talking about market forces?
Well,
or forces beyond us?
No, this is more like forces beyond us, because if you look at all those involved in the business will always tell you by the time they bring it, as in quote landing costs, they will pay more. But I'm looking at governments not since the beginning of this year, we've not really had any cause to to smile with the COVID, with everything that has been happening, and it's like one problem to the other.
When was the last time you smiled?
I smile every day because at least I'm alive.
Playing politics.
Because if you look at it, if you go to the markets, the last 2 weeks, we were talking about just onion. People were complaining about the cost of onion, And now we are now talking about the cost of petrol. If I am a farmer, and for instance, if my farm is like way, way far, maybe like 10 kilometers away, I was paying maybe like 5,000 to bring my goods to where the market is. Definitely the transporter will increase his own price. So this is really going to affect even the farmers. It will affect everybody. And we have not really had respite, because it's been one problem to the other. And it's like the government has left that industry for those who I will call sharks, to begin to, bring everything down to the consumers. Because just like GKB just said now, they've changed the pump price in all the filling stations. I remember even yesterday I bought at 159, and now it means I should be thinking, and it depends on the filling station you are going to, because some will tell you they are selling at it won't be this 178. Some will tell you 180, some will even sell at 200. So Nigeria should be bracing up for 250, maybe mid-2021, because Dangote refinery, our beloved Dangote refinery, is not.
Don't be alarmist. Say
citizen.
So you don't choke the viewer.
No, the thing is, we don't have refineries that are working. forget it. And if you don't have refineries that are working, how do you now want to bring down? Okay, for instance, if the government had refineries that were working, and we had these people who are bringing this fuel from wherever they are bringing it from, there will be that, demand and supply, how to fight, and then there will be that competition.
Yeah.
But there's no competition.
If you were refining here, you'll be talking about shortfall.
You understand? The shortfall to address this part. Okay, you go and bring because there's a shortfall. But there's nothing like shortfall. They are all importing. And that is why we are in this mess that we are.
JKB, at the hangout, ours is to lay the facts on the table, allow the viewer to make up his mind. But when the Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Silva,
Timipre
Silva, Silva, not Sylvia, I'm sorry, Timipre Silva, he said government had hands-off price fixing, but the NNPC is still the sole importer of this product. So where is the deregulation coming from?
I think we are all being clever by half, really, in this country. Because you and I know that without the landing costs, and the government is no longer interested in regulating price, it will sell ranging from 180 somewhere to maybe 1,000 somewhere.
Yeah, depending on how the person brought it.
The true market forces. But what we have now is what they call an hybrid between government trying to save, as it were, the costs to affect certain areas of the country while maintaining a semblance of price control. You and I know that's not true. And for many years, we've known that people in certain parts of the country have never bought fuel at the normal rates.
Exactly.
Anyway, I know places where they were paying 200 naira per litre before. The only difference now is that it is available and they can see it.
Okay.
That's the only thing that is different. But going back to your original question, the point we have right now is the fact that we've not done the needful. Like Asuko said, what the world is, yesterday, Ford Motors, their first electric delivery van came on board. It's electric, it's green, and that is their best vehicle for moving goods and services.
Okay.
And now they are going
cross
green
country
everywhere, all over the world. That's what you see. Is the one they use, the one that looks like a truck, but it's not really that big. It's their fastest selling product. Now it's gone green. The only thing left now is BMW and the S42 that are still resisting. Every major automaker has moved away from fuel. And
I thought if your Cope was just being sarcastic.
He was even trying to be nice. The nationalism in him wins over. Because the reality is that...
And he said we should be thinking.
Yeah, because we are not...
Please tell him this is 2020.
We are not competing. We are not producers. We are consumers. We are even consuming things that we own. We own this crude oil. We still serve as... In fact, we buy more fuel than Ghana or Togo.
Oh, yeah.
And we are producers. We are the 6th largest in the world.
Yes, we buy.
So look at the irony of the matter and see where we are going. For 5 years, this government has promised us that there will be refineries. For the last 4 years, we've heard about the refinery coming on board in 2019. Now we understand to not come on board until 2021. And then we understand that people are saying it doesn't make economic sense to even refine in Nigeria.
Yeah.
So there are a lot of interest intertwined in what we are going to pay for.
So at the moment, we are zigging and zagging.
No, we know where we are going, down. Okay. The zigzag is basically to slow us down.
So you can zig and zig, but you know where you are going to.
Okay, we have company. I hear Chidi is reaching us from Port Harcourt. Chidi, I greet you. Welcome. Hello, Chidi. Are you there? Okay. Better luck next time. Ekop,
the way it is, the government would somehow be out of the scene. In other words, not many of us will come readily to blame the government for the price hike. Even when you imagine that behind the scene, the government somehow does a kind of remote thing. But in a free market situation, what is happening now is expected. The only thing, as Asoko said, is that we've had it so bad for a very long time. had it been we had opportunities to be refining our products
I'm sorry,
here,
deliberately, so bad for a long time.
I wouldn't know whether deliberate. I wouldn't know. I'm not
He's
in the
talking about
corridors
things
of-
that has happened to us this year.
Do you understand? Yes, because all over a long period of time, we have not been able to refine these goods.
Good. Let's even go there. Do you think, quoting you, we have not been able to refine for a long time, you think this was avoidable?
I think it was avoidable. Yes.
Okay.
Because many times we heard NNPC, doing maintenance,
turnaround maintenance.
Yes, money voted for that for a very long. Yes,
You know, it is TAM.
So if you planned, maybe the refineries are down for 2-3 years, then before you plan for it. But we've seen it for a very long time, so I think it's avoidable.
All right. As we go home on this subject, Asukwo, you had heard before now, you pour oil on troubled waters. So what do you pour on troubled oil?
Maybe you have to shift the oil. You shift the oil.
So I hear Chidi in Port Harcourt is here with us. Ike, I greet you. How are you?
I'm okay.
Yeah, let's go.
You are talking about fuel price hike. The situation in our country is very pathetic. We are talking about forces of demand and supply. And it doesn't follow again because we have really, really messed it up. There is nothing called forces of demand and supply in this case. A group of people form themselves into a union, organization, a kind of monopoly. And so they don't give room to any other person coming between them. Is it the government through an NNPC bringing in fuel? We can only talk about forces of demand and supply where you have free market enterprise.
Exactly.
Where you could say, let's allow it for whatever the consumers want, whatever the sellers want. But in this case, there is nothing like that.
So for you,
you products.
Yes, so for
and
you,
they impose it on the other, the consumers, who have no say in this case.
Okay. For
the
you,
issue is really out of hand, but also it's very pathetic. That this same regime that came into power, before they came in, they criticized the previous regime for having hiked the prices, knowing that there are forces beyond control of everybody. That is the point.
Okay.
Let us now think of a way forward.
Yeah, that's.
And the way
I was
forward
going to ask you,
is not
where?
regulated.
Please, just listen to me. Listen to me. What's the way forward from here? 30 seconds. Let's go.
Refineries. There is no way, with given the present condition, that we will be thinking of reducing it. It will continue to climb. We have all started. This is just one chance.
All right. All right, thank you very kindly. Gentlemen, at a time like this, we are living in interesting times.
Really?
If you remember. Taisho Larry used to say something like, may your road be rough. So our roads are rough.
They are seriously rough. They are seriously rough.
You can say that if you can see lights at the end of the tunnel. For example, if there's a timeline for refineries to come on board, then people can now say, fine, you can bear this for a couple of years. But there is no timeline for us to start refining ourselves.
Exactly.
A cynic, a cynic once said, the trouble with light at the end of the tunnel is you can't tell if that light is that of an onrushing train.
No, it's still light.
Yeah, but it's light.
The train where they
Yeah,
rush.
It's still light. Because, because just like we are saying, I think rushing into this deregulation wasn't ideal. Because one, the government, who happens to be even a player in the industry, and they don't want to open up the industry for other people, to other players, makes it very difficult and very, very bad for us, the consumers.
As a marketer, a marketing expert, you think competition is ideal here?
This is not competition.
No. Competition is ideal. That's what I mean.
It should have been ideal.
Yeah.
It should have been
Should,
ideal.
though.
It should have been ideal. Do you understand?
Yeah.
like I said.
So who is afraid of a competition?
I wouldn't know.
No, citizen, the thing is, there is nobody that is afraid of competition if we make it fair.
Yes.
Because in other, like we used to say, other climes, government will not involve himself in a business whereby they will be players in it. If you say, okay, for instance, you want fuel to be deregulated, or you want that industry to be deregulated, government should not even be involved in it. You understand? Because right now we have PPMC. They are the ones that will fix price, and, you know. And then you now want a Shell, you want a Mobil, you know, to also be a partaker of that same industry. No, remove your hand. Let Shell, let anybody that wants to bring the petrol, let them go and bring it. And then
That's what I don't do. Because one gets, if you talk too much now, GKB, they think the man has a petrol station. But you are a
ordinary journalist.
He's from Akwa Ibom.
I beg, leave Akwa Ibom out of it.
What about the issue of modular refineries that we heard so much about, which we should also talk about? You know, it's important to also deepen the supply level.
Producers say you don't do. So, but seriously speaking, I think a deregulation should really be a deregulation. Allow the market forces to take over. We are done. And as they say, you pour oil on troubled waters. Our oil is troubled. What do we pour on it? Let's go to our next story. Still to come, farmers in northern Nigeria now pay 1.7 million naira as tax and harvest fees to bandits just to avoid the tax because gunmen have abducted Zamfara district head. They have killed a rescuer. That's crazy. That's crazy. Well, Jacob must go back to his desk and do some more marketing.
Exactly.
Thank you for coming. So please stay. We'll take this break and come back.
TVC News first with breaking.
Okay, then let's go to our next story. You know, we definitely must be living in very interesting times, as I said a while back, which a so-called Chinese curse referred to in the late 19th century. Now, farmers in northern Nigeria who lamentably live at the mercy of bandits now pay 1.7 million naira, we are told, to the outlaws as, wait for it, tax and harvest fees to avoid attacks and abduction in Zamfara state. Now, the farmers, we are told, have stopped going to their farmlands. Meanwhile, the district head of Matsiri community of Anka local government area of the state, with 4 of his children, are known to have been abducted. That's a classical example of a state of anomy, GKB.
Well, we are moving gradually into a complete state of anarchy when no rules apply and the force of the power man becomes the law. And this is really unfortunate because already we have food crisis. Onion is about 1,000% costlier.
He told you earlier.
Than it was a few weeks ago.
I'm wondering why he's sticking with onions.
Sanfara, Kebi, that taxes.
Produces
about 40% of all our cereal needs in Nigeria. And they've been under attack for the last 2-3 years with anything in sight. And you and I know that not only have the bandits taken over, they've also set up structures. And part of it is the payment of taxes on harvest. Because what they're saying is that there are no government presence sufficient in those areas to curtail that kind of shenanigan. So they've set up a structure themselves. You remember a few years ago, we used to say there are certain things that cannot happen in our country.
Yeah.
We used to say that a lot.
Alien to our culture.
Yeah. When it was happening in Somalia, when it was happening in Ethiopia, we said this. When it was even happening in Liberia, we said it can never happen in our country. Nigeria. Now we are right in the middle of a major crisis, and nobody seems to be in charge. What we hear every day is that somebody is rescuing somebody, taking him to the governor of another state. Before he comes back, they kidnap another person. So the cycle continues. Yeah. And there seems, like we said for the petroleum products, there seems to be no timeline, no way for you to know this is the time that we can expect an end to this. This is the time that we can expect this to end. we seem to be adjusting to that reality.
GKB, looking back, couldn't you say we walked into this?
With our eyes wide open.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did. But we start going to reasons why we will not leave this problem.
Asuko, you know, banditry is banditry. It has no other name. You remember the Katsina governor offered the olive branch, and the bandits seemed to have bought it, but later they misbehaved. Now we are going around in circles, as he said. So a bandit is a bandit is a bandit.
Exactly. And perhaps maybe because we are giving them that freedom for them to come and negotiate, that is why they can create another government inside a constituted government.
Yeah.
You know, because that is what they are doing. By the time bandits start collecting tax and fees, you know, I was just looking.
The audacity.
You know, that is the effrontery that they've now grown into that. Very soon, they will now start saying that they want to create their own states inside the Nigerian territory. And that is where the fear is. Most of these places, most of these farmlands are not places that you and I can easily walk into. Because they are deep, deep down, you know. Not places that even our soldiers can walk in. They have to be very, very careful. They have to marshal their plans before they, take charge or go ahead and deal with these bandits. And so that is why even the governor was saying that I leave everything to God, you know. So right now, even the Zamfara, the Katsina, why have you noticed that even their revenue, their IGR, has not exceeded 10 billion. The first quarter of this year, Zamfara was 9 billion, Katsina was 5 billion. Now that bandits have been, so this should clearly tell you how their revenue has been going down. Because where they would have been getting money from farmers, bandits have already taken...
Don't you have a trouble with somebody who leaves every of his trouble for God?
No, that is even a bigger problem, because if God has given you the brain for you to find solution to a problem, you shouldn't now go to God and tell God that, okay, God, I hand everything back to you. You know. So he as a governor, or whether the Zamfara, whether the Katsina or the northern governors, thank God they meet so sometimes I wonder if they are meeting every day.
No, they meet for answers.
Yes. So how do they now sit down to look at themselves and say, okay, we want this problem of bandits to be solved? Because the federal government will only do what they can. But the major solution comes from those on the ground, which is the governors, the traditional rulers, the youth, and everybody that is there.
Before I go to GKB, please, let's contextualize it. And NSAS came, and policemen and officers are off the road. You don't think this has any part to play here?
Not in those parts.
No, not those parts, because even they were even looking for the SAS. So if I were to be the federal government...
They don't want NSAS.
No,
the Zamfara governor said it.
Yes, they want the SAS. So it is now, this is where the federal government is supposed to say, okay, fine. If these SAS guys can deal with this, okay, they've removed the disbanded, let's change the name now to SWAT. So now move the SWAT team to Zamfara, move them to Katsina, so that we'll be able to have the peace, and people will now recognize themselves as being Nigerians. Because by the time bandits, I was seeing a video, I saw a video recently where bandits now, they ride on motorbikes, carry
like
AK-47, move around with citizens as if nothing is happening, as if there's no government in existence in all those communities. So the government should find a way to bring peace in these areas. Because, for instance, the major challenge that we are facing, or the major challenge we will face in the coming year, will be food security.
So, sorry, we have a Mohammed reaching us from Kano. Mohammed, I greet you. Welcome. Yes?
Yeah, good evening.
Welcome. How are you?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes. I can hear you.
I'm good, and you?
Yeah, we are okay. Now, Mohammed, trouble in Zamfara.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Mohammed, trouble in Zamfara means trouble in Nigeria. Go on.
Yeah, if you can hear me.
Go on.
Hello?
Go on.
Hello?
We can hear
Go on. I'm sorry about that. You know, Asuko talked about a free hand, and let me be a little cynical here. The late American blues singer, Billie Holiday, said, the trouble with giving a man a free hand is he runs it all over your body. It's no laughing matter. Now we are talking about banditry. What free hand are we talking about? Because politicians created this created bandits and banditry.
Well, you are right in a sense, but I will not totally agree with that. Don't forget that Boko Haram also grew out of politicians' need for people to come to
under our watch too.
I think what's really happening now is unfortunate because the governor of Zamfara, since he came in, has tried his very best, if there's a word like that, to ensure that he meets with these people. But the thing seems to empower them and embolden them the more. And that's the problem we face. You cannot keep using the carrot and the stick mentality
approach
when you are talking to bandits. You must only deal well with iron fist. And we've been saying this for years, but the Army High Command decided that the best thing to do is to take some of them, rehabilitate them, and throw them back to society. So once you see that, you realize the fact that whatever you do now, you get away with it. Because it's obvious that certain elements in that area have your back whenever you are caught and when things are done in such a way that people will look at it. I think we need to worry more about what will happen to those people who can no longer go to the farm, who can no longer do daily job. They will troop downwards to the south. And they will become kidnappers and bandits down here. So it's not a problem of the north. It's a problem of Nigeria. And it's the typical example of leadership failure at every level. Because we've not only not taken care of our farmers, we are going to run into trouble in the next 6 months when we run out of our strategic reserve.
Because as we said, a bandit is always a bandit, is always a bandit. We are not talking about forgiving or rehabilitating them. There's an exigency. So you react to it the way it should be. Because you see, if Zamfara produces at full capacity, there'll be a lot less
surplus.
Yes, of course.
Even for the bandits themselves.
Yeah, exactly.
So they must be looking for something else. I don't know.
No, they are bandits.
No, these ones are bandits.
For the money.
You know, they are just for
it's for
profits. Now it has even moved. Now that they're even looking for farmland, you know, it has moved. Before it was the gold that they were after. Now it is now the farmlands, and so it means that they are broke. So they need to feed. They need to have their own lifestyle going. So the only way and the only innocent, in quote, set of people that they can easily get money from are the farmers, you know, and that is the problem. So I was just looking at, okay, fine. Every year, I don't know, I think this October, the central bank actually invested about 12 billion in Katsina for rice farm.
Yeah.
Now, out of that 12 billion, have they been able to even recoup from that 12 billion with this kind of banditry that is happening? So it means you are just throwing water, you are throwing money into the ocean. So if we need...
Throwing water into a basket.
Yeah, as simple as that. You know, so the best thing is if you are giving farmers that huge sum of money for them to farm and for us to recoup and for them to also have a better life, we should be able to secure their investment, secure our own investment, and let them, you know, have a feeling and have a sense of belonging in the country. Because right now, bandits have completely taken over most of the...
Sorry, I hear we have company. John is reaching us from Kaduna. John, are you there? By any chance? The line is acting funny. Yeah, you are.
Don't forget that at a point in time, these farmers were going to get policemen from Chad.
Okay.
And from Nigeria
Yeah.
for security. Things are that bad. They've given up on the Nigerian states and are now willing to do anything and meet with anybody within the context of safety. And that to me is the shame that I feel as a Nigerian. Because these people feed us, whether we like it or not.
Exactly.
And if they are not protected to do the job they do, all of us will pay for this problem, one way or the other.
Exactly.
I hear we have a call here. Is John back on the line? John, are you there? Okay, yeah. So, way forward. There must be a way forward.
The way forward is what you said in the beginning. Provide leadership, provide security. Once they can farm in safety, they will produce. Once they produce, they will work. And when they want to harvest, let them be protected. Fine, we can put it in the context of the size of the state, how big it is. But even with that, we need to work a way around it to make sure that our food basket regions are protected.
We hear Musa is reaching us from Abuja. Musa, you're online. Are you there? Good evening.
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, quickly, let's go, Musa.
My contribution is this. I think the government of this country has been very, very funny. In the sense that from Bruno, where the Boko Haram started, it started like a small seed.
Yeah.
And the seed has grown to be a very big one now. Before you know it, what is happening in the Zamfara? I was in Zamfara State some years ago, and I know what happened there, that we were free. I'm from Kogi State. But oddly enough, what is happening there now is a strategy to acquire a space. And they will be moving from Katsina to Sokoto, mark my word, then to Kebbi.
Sorry, Musa, how do you mean to acquire a state? What do you mean?
That they took over the territory.
They are just using the word bandit, but it's not just banditry. It goes beyond banditry.
Okay.
They have an agenda, and I don't know what it will be like.
Wow. Thank you very kindly. Did you really
just like what Boko Haram did when they were taking territories and taking local governments? Then we had to now send them soldiers, army, and everything. That is the same thing. Before they took over Sambisa and Lake Chad.
That's what he said. He said
that is the same similar
the
thing that is about happening.
is the strategy, but the long-term goal was occupation.
All right, okay. Well, at a time like this, we are living in interesting times. We can go back there. May our roads be rough, but then may we see tomorrow today. It's possible. It's very, very possible. All right, we take on our last story for the evening. A second wave of COVID-19 pandemic was on the lips no sooner than we thought the impact of the first wave was behind us. As we sit here, the suspected resurgence is upon us. The federal government has expressed worry as new cases of the contagion has been put at 64,728. The NCDC has confirmed the resurgence in flashpoint states: Lagos 22,000, FCT 6,000, and Oyo 3,000, amongst many others. GKB, this is not a question of, this is not my portion. I started by doing this. Watch me. Let's go.
We all have it. The point here is that we have to quickly state that this is a function of the ability to test, not really a true figure of what may or may not be happening in our country. So we have to put that out there. Because you and I know that we've never really panned out in the first place. We did not hit any valley. So there's nothing to call it second
wave.
We don't even know where we were in the first wave.
We don't even know whether we are on the first.
Not enough people died.
Not death.
Okay.
This is a function of our ability to test. You have to put that in context. So if you are testing more now, we are bound to get more results. So COVID has never really left us, not for a single day. Okay. In fact, if it is a person who will be laughing, he's smiling his face off right now. What we simply did was to ignore the safety measures and continue life as if nothing is happening. And then people started dying of malaria or brief illnesses or God, whatever. And they put it within the context.
And people have been dying after a brief illness for a long time.
So that's where we are. So I want our people to just look at these figures in that context. Continue to be safe. Continue to wash your hands, wear your mask, keep a safe distance.
And all the protocols.
All the protocols you must. That's the only way out. Nobody, even the vaccine that they have is still 90%. And you and I know that for it to get to Africa,
it will be.
Jesus will have returned.
You see, otherwise, in that same vein, this is not a case of saying it's not my portion. This is not a question of
just be safe.
No, it doesn't.
Play safe.
You know, this is not it. It's just time for us to. We have not even gotten to the first wave. Forget it.
Come on.
You know, what we just did was to do copy.
I better leave here now.
No, what we did was to do copy. Oh, they are opening a space in so place. So let's open. They are okay. They've started moving up and okay, let's do. You know, that was what we did. Oh, the economy. Yes, we all said something about the economy, and that was why we started opening up. And that is why we are having this resurgence. Because even then, we were complaining then that we were not testing enough.
You are not thinking like so many cynics who believe this is a conspiracy at play.
You know, that is what people some people are saying. That
in
Nigeria, even in Nigeria, they say it's a lie. No, it's nothing like that.
There are states who never had
there
a
are some
case of
states.
COVID.
Like Kogi?
Like Kogi.
Asukwa and like Cross River.
But now, the last time I went to Cross River, everybody was wearing their face mask.
The governor has not spoken.
No, it's bliss now.
No, because it's the list.
We are in a state of bliss.
Yeah, blush and bliss. So the thing is, they are now wearing face masks in Cross River.
Oh, really?
Yes. You know. So it means that everybody now knows that, okay, fine, this thing is here, it's reality, it's part of us. But now that they are talking about the resurgence, the second wave in quotes, I'm not sure if people will like to comply by the time we say we want to lock down.
But are you surprised at that? You had said they wait for the first one.
You know, because even
you said we are waiting for the first one.
because even the testing capacity, then they were shouting testing capacity. By now, Nigeria should have tested, after we have opened up everywhere, we should have been testing close to 10 million.
Millions,
yeah.
But we are still in the region of 600,000.
America is the leading champion for the moment.
Yes. You know, but in the UK now, they are also struggling with America too. You know, so people should not think that this thing is over. I think last week or so, I got an invitation for a burial, and it was a medical doctor who died.
COVID.
Yes.
Really?
You understand? And the person was a young person, 34.
Ooh.
So people should not think that, okay, this thing is not real.
No. They said it was older folks like
yes,
me.
that when you have underlying,
blah, blah.
A complication and all that.
Yeah.
The best thing is wash your hands and wash it 20 seconds properly. Wear your face mask. Running water. Yes, you know. Yes, we might have issues about running water in some areas, but once you have the opportunity, you wash your hands properly.
And this, what do you call it? The
sanitizer.
Sanitizer.
You know, use your sanitizer, because I know that so many people. There's a particular event I went to in Abuja. They didn't joke with sanitizer. Even the hotel they were wearing, if you don't wear your face mask, you can't enter. You know, so they made it as a rule, you know, for you to wear your face mask. So Nigeria should do that.
Okay.
You know, it won't kill anybody.
GKB, the news came from Ghana, sad news. Former President J.J. Rawlings succumbed yesterday. Initially, the story was complications and so on, but the family, we are told, rebutted the story. So, but it still does not change anything.
Yeah, the man is dead. That one is confirmed. How he died, of course, is always... But we know he died. Jerry Rawlings has a very special place in the history of revolution in Africa. And will be remembered in that guise. Because Nigerians will say that if you had Jerry Rawlings at a point, maybe Nigeria would
GKB, quick, let's rush to Kano, which was a flashpoint at the beginning. Ibrahim is there, and I say good evening to you, Ibrahim. Welcome.
Hello, good evening, sir.
Yes, sir. Let's go.
Yeah, my major point is not just about the coronavirus. It's something that has to do together with even the banditry in Zamfara and other states in the north.
Okay.
As a government, Nigerian government, we are really not taking education seriously. Let's assume education was taken as seriously as required. Nigeria have the necessary human resources and and manpower that we can be able to develop testing kits for COVID. But because we are not taking education serious, when COVID came, it made us unprepared. Nigeria as a government has to spend trillions to be able to get all these test kits, set up labs, and even at that, you realize that it took them too long to be able to do that. And if we take banditry, for example, why do we have this banditry so much in states like Zamfara, Katsina, and probably some part of Borno? Check their level of education. You'll be so surprised. You'll be so surprised. The same thing, this weak level of education was what Boko Haram used to be able to capture Borno State. Imagine you have students that are at home for almost 250 days, and the government is doing nothing about that. Go back to our primary and secondary schools, public schools, you see there's nothing to talk home about.
All right.
So one great solution to all these problems, if we can take education as seriously as required, we'll be able to have a way forward.
Thank you, Ibrahim. Thank you. Sukwa, let's go there quickly. Education.
Exactly.
I'm thinking of the town crier and so on. Blah, blah, blah.
Exactly.
Blah,
You made a valid point there, you know, because most states, they don't even think about education. You know, they will just tell you, okay, go to school. And some, they don't even, I was even listening, I got to know about a particular state that built a very big edifice, and they didn't put toilets inside the edifice.
Oh boy.
You know, so I was wondering, okay, what kind of structure is that? You know, so like you said, education is not just for the government. The communities, the traditional rulers can also educate their subjects. You know, so that is one of the things that would. I don't know, but I know when I was, you know, still in my teen, there used to be this NOA. I keep saying
it's
it.
Still there.
They are there, but they are not functioning. Because then you wake up in the morning, you hear of MAMSA. You wake up in the morning, they will tell you, oh, war against indiscipline and things like that. Don't cross the express. Make sure you use the pedestrian bridge. You know, if you go to the bus stop, make sure you queue up. And stuff like that. All those things are all gone. And then from there, they use different dialects, different languages.
Yeah.
We can do the same thing in trying to beat,
not
banditry. It's not late.
Okay.
It's not late.
GKB, and I hope we can tie this to it. This is the age where many great men of God will tell you, don't worry, my God is above all this. Nobody is playing that down, but please, the religious... the pastor, the cleric, the Muslim cleric can play a bigger role here because of the souls they control.
Well, no, because of the people they lead. Souls belong to God.
Okay.
So I think what we need to do, we've not really used our religious institutions to the best of our ability to motivate our people. It's more like a strategic thing to keep them down and not to raise them up. And that to me is the danger that we face as a people. Because even in the north.
Sorry, let me, so we don't keep him waiting. Debo is reaching us from Songo Ota in Ogun State. Debo, good evening to you.
Good evening.
Yeah, Debo, COVID has launched a comeback. I wonder what you are saying here. What can you tell us?
Yeah. Good evening.
Let's go. Come on, go on.
Okay. I wonder what you are saying there. Well,
let's go, Debo. Well, we seem to have lost the connection to him. Gani, let's wind up. Time to begin to go. How do we close? Taking it, if we can, taking it from the top, you know, just leafing through new pump price regime, Zamfara bandits are asking for 1.7 million naira before you can access your farm. And of course, we are talking about COVID.
The government is piling things up on our shoulders that I hope that we don't break down from it. Because the year has been a terrible year, and the little things that we thought we'll enjoy has now been taken away by government's inability to do the needful. And that to me is the danger, because I keep telling people, the NSAS thing is a signal of what is to come. Yeah. We as leaders don't quickly find a way to accommodate the yearnings and the desperations of the young ones.
How do we close?
Yeah, but it's going to be a very, very dull Christmas, because even if it's a month away, you know, because from what we are seeing, pump price, there will be serious increase in food price. I'm already thinking.
Food price has already gone through.
You know, so that one is even going to be ×2. Yeah. You know, and then the people who are supposed to even produce this
can't go to the farm.
Can't go to the farm. So it means that we'll be struggling with no money with the few food in the markets. And then we'll still have to see how we can also stay healthy, because this is COVID time. So we have a lot in our plates.
Wow, more than enough for Christmas. Okay, let's thank you for coming, Gani K. Balogu. Thank you for your time.
Always a pleasure.
Sukwa James, many thanks too.
Thank you so much.
And we cannot but thank Ifeoma Ekup. He was here earlier on. That's it for today and the week. We thank you very kindly for your patronage. Please make Journalist Hangout a must-see show. All right, the Backroom Boys here say, thank you very much, enjoy your weekend. But if you missed this program, see us on YouTube at youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. And of course, I'm Citizen Jones Usen. Bye-bye now.